It's a blizzard outside, but guess what? It don't matter because Wrestling for the Culture is happening. It's a lot of great stuff. We got viral entrances. We got new feuds. We got babyface promos. We got heel promos. We got a lot to talk about coming up on this week's episode of Wrestling for the Culture. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of Wrestling for the Culture. I'm your host, Brian H. Waters. This show brought to you by The Wrestling Realm. Folks, it's Sunday. I'm excited. It is Championship Sunday, and I'm not going to lie, it do feel kind of weird because it's the week before the Royal Rumble, and I'm not that excited about it. But this is the week that begins. It's Championship Sunday, it's the Royal Rumble, and then it's the Super Bowl. But, man, let me tell you, getting ready for this blizzard that's here in Baltimore and really, quite frankly, all over the East Coast, I was scrolling through social media a lot yesterday, man. And I have to tell you, we starting to show off Ricky Sosa. Ricky Sosa went viral. Now, I came across this clip that I'm going to show you, and this is what drew me to Ricky Sosa.
You have gone incredibly viral in the last, I guess, like month or so with your entrance.
Yeah,
I mean, that alone has like made you this top star in independent wrestling right now. When did you realize like, oh, I really have something here with this entrance?
It was, to be honest, it was the first time I used it. It was like 6-7 months ago.
Yeah.
So with the crowd here, it already went viral. And then I realized like that it was something for me, like. And then we used the song again in December.
Bang, bang. Sosa, Sosa. Bang, bang. Sosa, Sosa.
That's a show that went viral with my entrance and stuff. And the crowd was into it. And I realized that this was something for me. I was like, damn, it's crazy.
2023 incroyable, un championnat prestigieux remporté en Allemagne.
2 weeks later, I just received a lot of messages on Twitter. Everybody reposted it. I was like, shit, what's going on? And yeah, now I'm here.
Shout out to Muscle Man Malcolm for the interview, and shout out to him. He does good work over there on the Muscle Memory. I was watching that, and when I saw the clip, you know, that's the beauty of social media clips. When you're scrolling and you see something like that, I said, oh man, wait, okay, dope interest. So then I go on social media and I see it skyrocket. I saw people talking about it, and then I listened to the song. Then you had people asking for it on the Spotify playlist. So of course, the wrestling fan I am, I go do my due diligence and I go look him up. And man, obviously impressive in the ring. He is your current WXW European champion. He retained that over the weekend. And it just brings on the conversation about the point in getting over. Now, Ricky's been wrestling for 3 years, and he has a lot of great dream matches. If you check out that interview with Malcolm, as the link is in the description, you'll learn that, you know, he has a lot of dream matches, and I think some bangers. You know, obviously want to see him in the ring with people like Javon Evans, Leon Slater. He even mentioned Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and I was like, man, I would love to see him in the ring with AJ Styles, but I think AJ might have one match left. But you obviously saw a lot of people saying, sign him, right? So as I'm scrolling, I see the APC World Champion also has a banger, Kuro. So I'm listening to the entrance, man, and I'm like, this is what wrestling is. I love when people can be themselves unapologetically, right? And upon being themselves unapologetically, still engage with everybody. There was a time when Crime Time was out and people would say, oh man, of course, give the black people the gimmick where they rob people, this, that, and the other. And people don't realize because they don't do their due diligence is Crime Time pitched that. Jason Paul, aka JTG, I think that's his shoot name, and Shad Gaspard, they pitched that. Cool. You know, as we move forward, as now we start to see more of a plethora of wrestling. I love when people can mix up the things that they're into. If they really love like a certain hip hop song or things, put it in their wrestling. You know what I mean? You look at Brian Keith, You know, he got the hat, you know, dressing like a good old country boy. Do it. And I love when people can be themselves, unapologetically black. I don't want nobody, like, I don't dip into the commentary on people say, why does black people always have to do this? Or why do they do this? Because quite frankly, I'm not in the room with the wrestlers. I want to just talk about the content. I want to talk about the in-ring stuff, the stories behind it. And that's what I enjoy doing. You know, Kuro, I went back and I watched his match with Michael O'Q, and man, a 30-minute banger. And you look at this and you're like, man, they are doing it big over there in France. And I wasn't expecting this. I mean, usually when I'm looking for content, I'm looking in the United States and, you know, all over. But I do know that's the beauty of social media, to see what's happening, to see what people are doing all over the country. And that's the fun part. So, you know, shout out to them. It goes to show you your interest is important. If you can get people hooked and get the crowd going, you're going to make people remember you. Like when I'm watching Kuro come out and he's dancing and you see the ladies come up dancing with him and you see him getting the crowd hype, and all those faces wasn't black faces what I saw in the camera, in the hard cam. It was a bunch of people from other countries, other cultures, but music centralized them. And obviously he went out there and delivered in the ring. You know, like I said, when I watch Ricky Sosa and I'm watching the matches, I say, okay, he got us hooked with the entrance. That's what you do. It's the hook that make people say, I want to stay. Now, if you have a dope entrance and then people want to turn the match off, that's another thing. I mean, you can say that. A lot of people say that about the Ultimate Warrior, and he's a Hall of Famer. So we have these guys out here who are doing more and bringing an interest. That's why I love when Bianca has a special interest for WrestleMania. When she would bring out the girls with her, when her Jade Cargill and Naomi came out like Destiny's Child. When she had the HBCU band, it's all important. And speaking of interests, Trick Williams. So, when is the last time that we've seen a black man in a multi-person fatal four-way main event on a Saturday night's main event? Now, I don't know the answer. Y'all may know it. But I've been saying Trick Williams was a star. He went out there and, again, another interest, and he got a new Titantron. But understanding that there's a lot of room for him to grow and watching him grow. He was recently speaking with O'Shea Jackson Jr. about the journey and saying how everything had to happen the way it did. You know, of course, people wanted him to go to the main roster, and I've been wanting to say vocal. I love the Trick and Nay era. It was important. And I always look at Trick Williams, I said, the wrestling is coming. You know what I mean? It's not a slight. The wrestling is coming. But he's hooking people in with his interests. You got thousands of people. A lot of those NXT interests do not translate. Let's be real. Y'all remember Emma. Emma's interest didn't translate to the main roster. But you look at a Trick Williams. He went from 400 or 500 people saying whoop that trick to thousands of people saying whoop that trick. So I'm excited to see this. And Mark Henry, WWE Hall of Famer, former world champion, when you put together a Mount Rushmore of black wrestlers, Mark Henry is definitely on in the conversation, right? We remember here, we call it the six grandfathers. But he had a quote. It says, the dude walking to the ring gets me fired up, makes me want to wrestle again. That's the effect Trick had on me. It's the energy and the smugness. The dude's got it. He talks the talk. He's walked the walk, and he's got the look. Shout out to Big Mark Henry. So let's move on. Speaking of, you know, interests and baby faces, you know, Jaida Parker. Jaida Parker has an incredible interest. You know, the music hits, you see the people going, and the music is so subtle, but the crowd is yelling, Miss Parker, right? Now, as she comes out there, you seen her the other night on NXT, she cut a babyface promo, and she talked about having the people with her. And we saw her interrupted with Blake Monroe. And I said before, this is a program I am looking forward to. You know, if you know there was a lot of investment to bring Blake Monroe into WWE. And if you're going to strap the rocket ship to a Jaida Parker, well, this is what you do. You put her in a program with Blake Monroe. She has the experience there. Blake Monroe may be getting used to the WWE way, but it's going to be fun watching them grow together. So, and shout out to her. At first, I was like, oh man, Jaida Parker's a babyface. Not really feeling. I like her as a heel, but we're going to see. We're going to see, you know. I always thought she would be the great heel. Kalani would be the great babyface, but, you know, times have changed. Congratulations to Athena. Over 1,140 days as your Ring of Honor World's Champion, Women's World Champion. Absolutely incredible. I think that a lot of times when people underestimate how good Athena is, how good Ember Moon was. I've always said, like, back in the day when she was in Ring of Honor and making her way around WSUs and the Shimmers, she was up next. And to see her hold the championship for 1,140 days is exciting, you know, and I'm choosing to respect that with the same reverence that we respected a Mercedes holding the TBS title for over 500 days, a Roman Reigns for holding the WWE Championship for over 1,316 days, a Gunther for holding the Intercontinental Championship for over 660 plus days. We're going to respect Athena with the same. So I'm excited to see what happens. And I've always said this. I want Athena on TBS and TNT every week in a high program. I would love to see Athena and Mercedes Moné headline a show for the AEW Women's World Championship. Throw the triple threat in there. Give me Athena, Mercedes, and Willow Nightingale. Let's cook AEW. Congratulations to Kylie Armstrong. She was named the Fightful Rookie of the Year. And just some of her accolades. She was the inaugural Evolve Women's Champion. She retained her championship against none other than Natalya. And she also wrestled a plethora of matches on NXT. So she had an incredible year when, you know, Evolve coming on Tubi. Shout out to Peter Rosenberg, who had a lot to say over the week. But, you know, they've been doing their thing. It's great to see. This is like watching NXT level up, but it just feels more put together. I know Level Up was there, but this doesn't seem as cartoonish, if that makes any sense. So that's why I'm excited watching this. And, you know, I said when I look at Kylie Armstrong, money. She's money. I'm excited to see what happens with her next. So congratulations to her. A banger that you have to check out. Swerve Strickland and Kevin Knight. Swerve Strickland was victorious in over 17 minutes, but they put a banger on in the main event of AEW Dynamite. And I personally want to see Kevin Knight in the singles picture. You know, I think I've always said, like, Swerve is good at making wrestlers. He's good at making stars. And he's, you know, he's changing up his style. We remember seeing him sort of, I don't want to say high flyer, but very finesse. But now, you know, he's definitely changing up his style, and it's definitely been a lot of fun to watch. So shout out to Swerve Strickland and shout out to Kevin Knight for a banger at AEW Dynamite. We got Elijah Holyfield. Spoke to Adam Paris of Sports Illustrated and talked about leaving football for pro wrestling. So I'm gonna play that clip.
I mean, I think people think I don't think people understand how much football really means to a person when it's the only thing you like. when the first person somebody sees me, like, oh, that's a football player. Like I almost identify as that in a way. And when it's taken away from you, you kind of like lose yourself on what am I about as a person. So it's almost like when it's done, it's almost like somebody dying. It's like, I know it sounds crazy, but it's almost like you have to deal with it like a mourning period, like for a time where I'm like legit sad. I legit could not watch football. Everybody I watched, it was like, I could play better than him. You know what I'm saying? It was like mad. And then like finally when WWE came and I started to actually get into it and lose myself in it, I found myself like watching football games again, like watching games, like cheering for people and stuff again. So it's like, it's been you have to close I'm glad I've closed it to know that it's no going back. Now I can look at it with appreciation more so than looking at it like mad about it. Yeah. So I think I'm in definitely a lot better place about it now for sure.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see Elijah Holyfield. We obviously know whose son he is. But I love the fact that the WWE superstars who have made the transition from other sports, whether it's shot put, football, gymnastics, or even track and field, have they come in and embraced the business and, made it their own. I think it's more annoying when you see more like influencers come in and you're wondering like, oh, okay, are they really here? Whatever. But when you see the traditional athletes, these NIL people, they're coming in with a fresh slate and fresh mindset. And you could blame Bianca and Big E because they came in and did it best and having Hall of Fame careers. So they do have a lot to look up to, but shout out to them. So Trey Miguel has joined TNA. He was with the Rascals as they signed with AEW, but AEW did not take on his contract and decided to let him go immediately. They're, obviously, who knows the real reason or what have you. But quite frankly, I think there's more opportunities for Trey Miguel. So I just think this is going to be a better look for him and a better opportunity for him to stand out more. We all know he did great things over there before, so I can see him continue to climb up the card with this opportunity. Speaking of TNA, Cedric Alexander and Moose, opened the show. Cedric Alexander was victorious, but then he joined the system. That was a move I didn't see coming. So we'll see what happens with Cedric moving forward. That's how they close the show. So I don't know, man, but yeah, him joining the system. Yeah, let's see what happens here. All right. Also on AEW Collision, we saw that Action Andretti and Lio Rush, CRU, they were victorious over Alec Pride and Jordan Oliver, and they want to fight with the Rascals. So definitely expect a lot of high flying shenanigans there. So we're gonna see Action Andretti and Lio Rush, two people who come out of MCW Pro Wrestling system. We gonna see, them two obviously gelling together. So let's see. This is definitely something to keep an eye on. But we're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about what's happening on the independents. And I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's go to the indies. Actually, we're going to start with ROH. So not necessarily the indies, but y'all know. Lee Moriarty defeated Matt Menard this past week. Also, Big Bill and Brian Keefe was victorious over KM and Will All Day. London Dior was also there. Unfortunately, her and Rachel Ellering fell to Billy Starks and Diamante. Also, Beyond Wrestling, Jonathan Gresham was victorious over Ryan Clancy in a Mount Evans rules match. But after the match, Joseph A-Game called him out for the next show, Beyond Wrestling Ballroom Blitz. So that's going to be fun to see. Shout out to Gresham, the octopus. Just an incredible talent. I've had the pleasure of watching lots of his matches. I mean, the guy can go. You know, we look at people like the William Regals, the Daniel Bryans, a lot of great technical wrestlers. Throw Gresham on that list. And this is what I'd be saying about pro wrestling, black wrestlers essentially as well. We can do it all, man. There's a lot of different types. You want a technical wrestler? Cool. You got Gresham, just straight pure style. You want somebody out there who can just dominate and throw people around? Obafemi, Big Omos. So, I mean, the talent is undeniable. Also, at Beyond, we saw Starstruck was victorious over Brando Lee and Ichiban and Miracle Generation and Wretch and Resolve. And Tyree Taylor defeated Gabriel Scott. Now we go to Absolute Intense Wrestling, where the homie Joseline Navarro and MJ Santana wrestled to a no contest. And in the AEW Intense title match, the big fella, Isaiah Broner, was victorious over Donovan Dijak. Let's go to MCW Pro Wrestling right here in Maryland. They was in Joppa. In a 6-man tag match, saw Black Wall Street, Chuck Lennox, and Hydraulics, was victorious over Foreplay. We also saw DeMarcus Kane defeat Mike Walker. And also, so we learned that we're going to run this clip about Myles Hawkins because he's not a member of the Brain Trust.
Myles Hawkins, welcome back. We just saw you out there turn down the Brain Trust. What's going on with you?
Hey, Myles, holy crap, man. We were like 2 peas in a pod out there. Did you see what we did? Oh, hey, can I get a thumbs up?
Keep working on it. You got this.
Hey, wait a second, Myles. Hold on a second. Hey. Oh, geez, why is it stuck? Hey, you got my contact, right?
Now, also in MCW, we saw Gia Scott make her return. She put everybody on notice. Excuse me. Former MCW Women's Champion Gia Scott put everybody on notice that she is back. She was victorious over Tiara James and the notorious Mimi. The Heavily Assassins, Alex Devine and Chris Slade, were victorious over All Natural. But the big news of the day coming out of MCW, the hype no more. Casman Lee and Myra Malone, man, they lost to the Zukos. And then afterwards, here's what happened.
Okay, listen.
You gonna listen to this?
No, hang on. I'm just talking.
You gonna listen to him, Myron? You gonna listen to him? Huh? We don't went through Tim. We don't went through Slade. And you gonna do me like this?
Listen, man, you calm down. No. I don't have a problem with you, okay? We don't.
But I got a problem with you. Just go. Wait, Myron. No. Oh. I knew you would do this, bro. I knew you would do this. I knew it all along.
Oh. Make it count.
Get out! Tim, Slade, Alex, everybody told you. I gave you a year.
Oh boy, man. In wrestling, you love a good breakup, don't you? That's one way, you know, it's got me intrigued. I want to see how this goes, you know. It's the drama. It's the reason why I tune in. And before we close out, over at Dominant Championship Wrestling, oh, they got a problem. They got a new DCW Women's Champion, and here she is.
New champ. 500 days, Jasmine. Your 500 days don't mean shit to me because it's the era of the cannibal now. And there ain't a bitch in the back that's gonna take it from you.
Now, if you know anything about the cannibal Savannah Evans, you know she does not come to play. I watched her at Battle Club Pro. I watched her at Odd Shape Wrestling and just obviously keeping up with her online. Man, you don't step to her any kind of way. So Congratulations to her, and I expect her to hold that title as long as she wants. I also want to give another shout out to, I'll show you all this video, Brianna Bands. I've been watching her, keeping an eye on her work, and man, aura. She knows exactly who she is, what she's doing, and I am excited to see her matches. Ladies and gentlemen, that will wrap it up for this week's episode of Wrestling for the Culture. Make sure you hit the subscribe button right here on the Wrestling Realm YouTube channel. Make sure y'all send me some stuff. You know, I spent a lot of time Saturday going through the, cage match, going through the databases, and, I'm not gonna lie, I might miss some things. I do try to keep the show very digestible, but I still want to make sure we giving all respect to the Black performers out there. And, I'm going to be, open up the deck and inviting some guests on so we can get those stories again. So thank y'all for joining me this week. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Check me out this Wednesday on the Wrestling Around Now podcast. Also, make sure you check out this last week's episode of Break It Down with Brian H. I talked about 5 things you learned from WWE Unreal, and that included R-Truth. I think it was a work. Do you think it was a work or not? Till the next time, folks. So long, everybody.